Commissioner Williams, Commissioner Lyons, Commissioner Farrow, and myself, Commissioner Roach. We are anticipating Commissioner Cruz to be joining us as well. But moving forward, at this time, I'd ask to observe a moment of silence for retired police officer Lorenzo Corleone, who passed away on August 30th, and also retired police captain Michael Costello, who passed away on September 8th. May they rest in peace. Okay. Unless there's any questions, I entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the regular board meeting from August 16th. Is there a motion to that effect? Motion's been made by Commissioner Farrow. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lyons. I'll entertain the same motion for the acceptance of the minutes of the special board meeting from September 8th. Motion to accept by Commissioner Farrow. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay. The chief of police has indicated she won't be with us this evening. I believe she is attending an NRZ event. It might be over on the East End that she was committed to. I don't believe we have anybody here from the union, so we can move to the internal affairs report. And for that, I'll need a motion to go into executive session. It's been moved by Commissioner Farrow. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Tom Lyons. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are in executive session. Are we? Very good. We're good to go. Okay, Lieutenant Rosum, it's you have the floor.
Hang
Oh,
on, gonna go
I'm
into a
sorry.
breakout
We need
room.
to.
Join room 1.
Okay. Okay, Lieutenant, we're back in regular session. Are you with us? Lieutenant Cotto?
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Just making sure you're with us. Okay, we're back in regular session. We've concluded the report from Internal Affairs, and with regards to Sergeant, I'm sorry, I think she's actually, as our host tonight, Ashley Taylor, and Sergeant Daryl Wilson. I would entertain a motion to direct the chief to transfer Sergeants Taylor and Wilson to the Office of Internal Affairs, effective October 1st.
So moved.
It's been moved and it's been seconded by Commissioner Williams. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay. Thank you. Next item is the clerk's report on the status of pending matters. Lieutenant?
Afternoon, good evening. We had a successful barrels hearing where we were able to close out 3 of the pending cases. But you take one step forward and take a couple steps back. I got 2 new notifications for second step. As you can see, that brings the total to actually 3 second step hearings that are pending. And we have the one matter that we never scheduled because it was the larger of the pending matters. So I don't know if you guys want to schedule a date for a future barrels hearing or wait until Monday, which is the next scheduled barrels hearing, and schedule then.
And what do we have scheduled on Monday? Which,
Monday is 3 cases.
we have 3 for Monday. Okay. Do we want to talk about scheduling, or we want to wait till Monday and then hopefully we'll have a full board? We can talk about it then. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we can talk about it on Monday.
Okay. All right.
Problem?
Okay.
Excuse me.
All right. What else, Lieutenant?
That's it for the clerk's report. I have nothing else pending.
Okay. Don't go anywhere. So first item under new business is you.
All right, so
Change your hat and review and approval of 2 department policies, death notifications and crisis intervention team.
okay, so in front of you guys, I have 2 revision of policies that have already been approved by the board. If we go in order, the first one is policy 6.16. It's a death notification. These changes are pending the October 1st legislation, which reads that a death notification shall be carried out promptly, but no later than within 24 hours. All the changes in the policy are highlighted in yellow, and it's minor language changes. And everything was pretty much based off of the legislative act that's due to come out October 1st. Do you want me to go through the second one, or we're gonna go one at a time?
I would say go through the second one. We can knock
Okay.
them both off.
Oh, no problem. So the second one in front of you is policy 7.05. It's the crisis intervention team. We call it CIT around here. This policy is a result of the city of Bridgeport adding social workers to our team to assist us in the non-emergency, what's considered non-criminal. These situations, might benefit us by having a social worker there, somebody different than a uniform. So the only thing I did with this policy is everywhere where it says CIT clinician, I changed the language to CIT clinician / social worker. And I added the social service referral email address to the policy. Other than that, this is the actual same policy.
Same thing.
Yes,
Okay. All right. And you're saying regarding the death notifications, the corrections or amendments rather are just minor grammar corrections or I'm sorry. What did you say were the
So-
changes on?
our old policy read within a reasonable amount of time. This puts a measure on it and it says 24 hours.
Okay. So just tightened up the language a little bit.
Yes.
Okay. That's preferable. Are the commissioners good with this? Any questions?
I had a question. I just wanted some clarification. Well, first, the first question is, obviously you have officers already trained in CIT,
Yes.
and if others were interested, how long is that training, or is that
It's
available to others?
So it's a 1 week training. We put it out
Okay.
for about 2 months between, I'm guessing here, but I want to say it was at the end of the fiscal year. So I think it was from April to like the end of June. And we had some people that showed interest. It benefits us towards the end of the year because we use leftover training money and we're able to send as many people as possible. Rather than send 1 or 2 here or there, we rather send as many people as possible. So as we get to the end of the fiscal year, we'll have a better idea to forecast how many people we can actually send.
Right. I was a little confused. I think later on, as I kept reading on pages on number 2 and 3 of that particular policy concerning when the dispatch receives the call. Am I correct? They're going to see if a CIT trained officer, right, is available. And if not, they will show up when they become available. My question is the supervisor required to be on site if it's a mental health problem?
No,
No. Okay. All right. And it's likely that a CIT trained officer will become available. Let's say during,
if there's somebody available, then they will respond to the scene.
but if not, that first officer on site is required to be in consultation with the supervisor.
If it's something they can't handle, then yes, but they're not going to automatically contact the supervisor because it's a mental health call. We go to numerous mental health calls throughout the day.
Okay, but there's something there regarding assigning a social worker. If it is a problem, if it is a mental health problem, am I correct?
If there is one available, yes, the officer can call for a social worker to respond.
Okay, only if they're available. Gotcha.
Yes. And right
All
now, they're still going through their pilot that the chief mentioned a couple meetings back, where right now they're doing referrals over the phone.
Gotcha. Okay. No, thank you.
Oh, no problem.
Any other questions for the lieutenant?
Mm-mm.
Entertain a motion to approve the policy changes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion's been made by
Both,
Commissioner Cruz to approve. Is there a second? I see Ed Farrow's hand up, seconding that. All those in favor somehow signify by saying aye or
Aye.
waving their hands. Okay. Is there any opposed? Okay, motion's carried. All right, next is a request from the lieutenant for review and approval for department awards. Tell us about those.
Okay, if we go in order, the way that they're listed in here,
Understand that things happen that I have no control over, but I can't dwell on those things. I've got
I think Terry's on another call.
do you want me to wait or should I continue?
No, go ahead. That's fine.
So we're gonna go in order, the way that they're listed in the agenda. The first one is Officer Florian for the Medal of Merit. Officer Florian responded to a scene of a suicidal person who was actually in the water. This person sliced his wrists with a sword and was trying to drown himself in November. So Officer Florian went into the water past waist deep and was able to save this guy. When we had the award ceremony meeting, I was actually told that the person that was saved saw Officer Florian at the Puerto Rican Day Parade, went up to him and thanked him for saving his life. I guess they spoke, the guy was in crisis, and he was more than grateful for Officer Florian, risking his personal safety during COVID and, bloodborne pathogens to go in the water, risking hypothermia to save this guy's life.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah, awesome.
Should I just keep going?
Please.
See there. Okay, so the next one is Officer Cavalier and Officer Hoffman. They responded to a homicide scene at Park Avenue. Fortunately, one of the city officials, family members, was killed in a shooting, and due to great police work, Officer Hoffman and Officer Cavalier were able to track down the suspect. They got into a foot pursuit and was able to apprehend him. So Officer Hoffman and Officer Cavalier are both put in for excellent arrest awards. Okay, the next one is for now Lieutenant John Andrews, but then Sergeant John Andrews and Sergeant Paoletti. These officers are assigned to our task force. They were doing proactive police work in the area of P.T. Barnum when they heard shots fired. They began to investigate, and before he knew it, Lieutenant Andrews, then Sergeant Andrews, was pinned down behind his car and was fired upon about 15 times. Risking his own safety, Sergeant Paoletti responded quickly, was able to chase down the suspect, and was able to make the apprehension. So Lieutenant Andrews is being put in for the Combat Cross, and Sergeant Paoletti is being put in for an excellent arrest. Okay, next one is Sergeant David Neary. This was rather recent. Over the summer, Sergeant Neary was working the park detail. And it was the end of the night. They were closing the park. And Sergeant Neary saw a person in the water in distress. Sergeant Neary stripped down, took his gun belt off, took his shirt off, went in the water and was able to save this person from drowning. And Sergeant Neary is being put in for the Medal of Merit. Sergeant Neary was also recognized, and I believe there's something under correspondence by the Elks Club, where he was just given the Officer of the Year award for saving this person's life.
Good.
Yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations to all those officers.
Absolutely. Any questions before we approve these awards? Commissioner Cruz, would you like to make a motion to approve?
Can I ask a question first?
Sure.
When a a supervisor makes the recommendation for officers to be recognized, who makes the ultimate decision as to which one of the two or few should be acknowledged over the other,
So,
depending on the performance?
so what we
Right.
do is we have an awards committee. And the awards committee is made up of a diverse group from the police department. More importantly, it's officers that have received awards in the past. And they review the reports. The good thing is that usually one or two of them were involved in the incident or are aware of the incident. And we review the paperwork, and if we need more information, then we'll do an investigation. We'll contact some of the people there and see if everybody that was put in is worthy of an award. Most of the time, unfortunately, they'll put everyone that responded to the scene in for an award. And as a group, we came to an agreement that just because the guy turned in evidence, he's actually doing his job. He really didn't have much to do with the arrest and is not as deserving as the actual officer that was involved with the incident.
And be busy and be able to say that
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. That brings
And-
clarification.
yeah,
I
and these
understand
are-
totally.
These are more above and beyond things.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
Mhm.
okay.
So
Thank you.
through the awards committee, we're actually able to vet out a lot of things so that, our goal is to prevent people from, the separation from, routine police work, which may be deserving of a attaboy or a great job or maybe comp time or something than versus, an award, because it makes the award more prestigious.
Okay. Thank you.
Entertain a motion to approve.
So move.
It's been moved by Commissioner Cruz. Do we have a second?
Second.
I hear a second from Commissioner Williams. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. The award process moves along. Under old business, there was a matter tabled regarding a handicap sign request at 560 Bishop Avenue. We tabled this. I spoke a little bit with the lieutenant, trying to refresh my memory on it. Is there anybody else? I know the request was, or the recommendation from the city traffic engineer was to deny the request because of it's a single family house with a driveway. Is that I know I did look up the address. I mapped it, and that certainly appears to be the case. 560 Bishop Avenue is a single family dwelling with a driveway that's actually fenced in.
What was it, the greater concern that even if the driveway is available to this one family house, that the entrance is closer if they park on
Yeah,
the
it's
street?
not, I know what you're saying, but it doesn't seem to be. And I just, I looked at it again before the meeting. It's not a question of, an apartment house with a parking lot where it's a hell of a lot more convenient to park on the street right next to your entrance. No, it doesn't appear to seem the case. I'm not asking the board to deny the request. I just, unless one of the other commissioners remembers what the concern would be, I think we probably need to table this again, unless somebody would like to speak up.
Commissioner Roach, I believe it was Commissioner Williams that asked me to bring back the matter. I'm not sure if she was the one that requested it, but it was originally recommended
It was recommended.
by engineer.
Okay,
I
okay.
went back to the minutes, but it was tabled because photographs were requested to see the driveway. And there was something about a lift gate or something. That's all I know from the minutes.
And in my record, it was not recommended. And that's why we asked to table it, because we were requesting more information from the parent and the actual agency.
Okay.
Because there's a whole driveway that she has, and it's a wide driveway, because the reason they were saying was because they couldn't open the doors or lower the ramp, but there's nothing on that street. There was a parking lot across the street from her, so it wasn't like a busy street. So that's why we had asked for pictures of the van and inside the driveway and how the ramp comes down. That's what we had asked for. And that's why we tabled it. We wanted to make sure, because at the time, it wasn't being recommended.
Okay.
I have the engineering report here from April 19th. It's the first page in the packet. I don't know if maybe the recommendation changed, but I wasn't here for that meeting.
What date was that? April, you said?
April 19th, 2022. It's
And the recommendation from the city traffic engineer was to approve.
Yes,
Okay. And we are talking about 560 Bishop Avenue.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay,
so
and
that-
you were saying, Commissioner Roach, that you would consider tabling it again?
Well, I
For what
consider
purpose?
tabling it, but you know, I'm just curious, and I don't want to hold it up. If the city traffic engineer says, you know, it's okay, and he's recommending it, I wouldn't want to hold it up if it's time sensitive for the applicant either. And since, and I know, you know, Commissioner Williams brought up some very good points and
we still haven't
Probabilities.
gotten that information we
no,
requested.
we haven't got the information we requested, but usually we're in a situation where we're requesting information because we're not necessarily anxious to agree with the city traffic engineer and possibly make an exception. It looks like we don't have to in this case. The city traffic engineer has already recommended approval. So, I mean, we can wait and gather this information that you haven't seen yet, but my fear is if this is something that's, the applicant really needs, we're talking, there's a van involved and whatnot. And you're right, as far as the street is concerned, there's an adjacent parking lot,
Right.
right to the right of the house. And at least when I viewed, the street, there's several parking spots available. Now I'm talking on the street, not in the lot, which was empty. So I don't think it's a hardship for anybody else. Is my point. I don't know, but yeah,
Commissioner Roach, Commissioner
Yes.
Williams, we didn't get the photographs, right, as requested, but Commissioner Roach, you said that you saw the location. You
Yeah, no, I
saw
looked,
the-
I didn't get a chance to drive by, but I Google mapped it and
Oh, I
looked
see.
at the house and, so I don't have exact time. It was obviously daytime. There was probably more parking available on the street than parking spaces taken, to be quite honest. And like, the parking lot next door, which was actually empty. So if there's a situation where, kind of extraordinary circumstances that it looks like we have here, I don't see it. I don't see a hardship for any of the other residents there if a spot is taken by handicap sign. But just throwing that out.
But it
there.
sounds to me that if there's plenty of parking, they have the availability to park on the street versus the driveway.
Well, they would, but maybe not necessarily in front of their house all the time where they need to
Oh,
operate
yeah.
the van. And there's a vehicle involved and I kind of get it. So,
I gotcha.
don't know.
I think it was because, and there was two, I think it's two of her children, but I think, you know, to Commissioner Cruz's point, there's ample parking. So for us to put, you know, in all fairness to anyone and everyone else.
Right.
I mean, I get it and I understand. And thank you, Lieutenant Cotto. I just looked at April. So yes, I stand corrected on that. I think that's what we wanted to make the decision to either agree or disagree with engineering. So engineering was was approving it, but we wanted to have a better understanding. And for me, there's ample parking in the driveway and there's ample parking on the street. So I'm not in agreement with engineering. And like you said, there, yeah, if we put there, she has ample parking right around her house. It's adjacent and even on the side of the house, she can park. Because it's empty on the side of her
I think the
house.
question, I think the fact that we didn't get photographs, right, in addition to that is what is the severity of the disability?
Correct.
Because if they need closer access, right, adjacent to their entrance, then we're not taking that into account because we don't have that information.
We don't have that information, right?
Okay. Folks, what's your pleasure then?
I don't think we should wait another month if we table it. That would be absurd. We've waited long enough.
I would make a motion to not approve the handicap sticker.
Okay,
Sign. I'm sorry.
there's a motion on the floor to not approve the handicap sign request for 560 Bishop Avenue. Now, is there a second for that? Tom, you with us still?
second,
Okay, Tom has made a second. All those in favor of denying the handicap sign request for 560 Bishop Avenue signify by saying aye.
aye,
Those opposed,
I'm abstaining.
you would need a reason to abstain.
Okay.
Is
Well,
it a
not-
relative?
not sufficient information. I will oppose that.
Okay, that's fine. Ed? In favor or opposed? Okay. The motion to deny the request for 560 Bishop Avenue has been approved. Okay, nothing under correspondence. And as the lieutenant had mentioned, letters of appreciation, Sergeant David Neary receiving the Officer of the Year Award at the Elks Club for saving the person from drowning at Seaside Park. Again, congratulations to the officer, job well done. Widows pensions. We have two requests, one from a Florence Riley to receive a widow's pension effective immediately, Plan A. Also a request from Mrs. Deborah Costello to receive a widow's pension effective immediately, Plan A. Lieutenant Cotto, the paperwork's in order?
Yes, it's at the end of the package when we adjourn and reconvene.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to reconvene as Plan A, folks, so we're not going anywhere soon. But any case, entertain a motion to combine the two widows pension requests and approve those requests.
so moved,
It's been moved by Commissioner Lyons. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay. The widow's pension requests are granted. We have the request of the city traffic engineer to approve 2 handicap parking signs, one at Bunnell Street, 213, and also at 77 White Street. The city traffic engineer found that there was parking wasn't available for these applicants, and request that we approve the handicap sign requests.
So
Any,
moved.
it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Under 9B, the city,
With all due respect, Commissioner Roach,
yes,
I'm not hearing opposed or in favor of by Commissioner Farrell. So
oh, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can
his
see his
hand is
screen.
up for all of us?
I'm getting a signal from him.
Oh, okay, I didn't
Alright.
see that.
Okay. Okay, we have a request from the city traffic engineer not to approve a request for installation of speed humps at Horace Street. I think we've kind of heard the situation when it comes to speed humps and speed hump requests. They are quite expensive, and I know a lot of folks are interested in having them installed on their streets, but the city engineer's office is selecting by need and by the ability to install, both financially and otherwise. So the request is not to approve Horace Street. Does anybody have any issues or questions regarding this? Yes.
What is the need? What is the need? I know that
Well,
we.
you know what
don't-
speed humps are supposed to
No,
accomplish.
I understand. The need
And
is
Horace
finances,
Horace
right?
Street is not, it's not a major thoroughfare. It runs parallel to East Main Street, up past where motor
No, I'm
vehicles
sorry.
used to be
I didn't
located.
mean for Horace Street. I mean, what is the primary need that will be acceptable to install a speed bump? Because I just had a fire official, fireman,
Mhm.
asked me, are we still approving the installation of speed bumps? And I said,
No,
it's
no,
it's
speed
rare.
humps. First of all, speed
Yeah.
humps, not bumps. They're two separate things.
Speed bumps.
No, speed humps are traffic calmers. Speed bumps, you have to come to almost a dead stop to get over. And those don't work for a lot of reasons, for emergency vehicles, as well as liability issues and whatnot. Speed humps are,
Yeah, I don't think people really know the difference. They may think that some
Yes.
people call it speed humps versus speed bumps, but
well, they're two different things, I assure you.
no, I understand that. But speed humps, we don't take preventive measures until we have a flow of traffic accidents, right? And
Well, not so much traffic, it's also, it's traffic accidents and pedestrian safety is a major factor as well.
Yeah,
And
okay.
they're,
Will a citizen like myself have to prove how frequently the same vehicle speeds up and down numerous times a day on my?
I think that
Will
would
I
be the
have to
city,
take
that
a
would be,
video?
that would be the city traffic engineer's responsibility to run that study.
Okay,
And they do, and they determine, not just the volume of traffic or this, and the, the speed of traffic as well. They're pretty, in some instances I've seen where their studies are very comprehensive.
and it really isn't an issue because I think that the best thing to do to make a formal complaint is catching their license plate, right? So that they can be notified, and maybe that will prevent them from continuing to do that, which is ridiculous, but they can care less who's walking down the street. you know?
No, no, I know.
Especially when they have tinted windows and you can identify who it is. But anyway, moving on. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, is there a motion to approve the recommendation from the city traffic engineer, which is not to approve the request? We have a motion to that effect?
Yes, so move.
Okay, moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Williams. All those in favor?
Aye.
I'm getting an aye from Commissioner Farrow. Any opposed? Okay, that's passed. Before we adjourn the regular, there's one addendum, and if you guys will bear with me just for a second, it's a traffic matter in downtown at 7 Lafayette Circle, where Lafayette Circle meets Fairfield Avenue. There is an apartment house on the corner, but on the first floor, one of the businesses, it's Letitia's Bakery, and next to that on Lafayette is a Cleaners, and both the businesses have been struggling, especially through COVID. And there is a sign posted in front of 7, and it's only for a couple of parking spaces, but they're very important to these businesses. And the sign says loading zone only. The sign was put there for the apartment building at the request of the apartment building's owner, who no longer owns the apartment building, but the majority, and the owner has told me this since, that the majority of move-ins and moves out take place on the weekend, where there's ample parking, number one, and chances are the parking right in front of the building would be available also, because the businesses aren't open on Saturday. So the city traffic enforcement officers, not the police department, but the guys that write out the tickets, have been very aggressive, and I mean, it's been on a couple of occasions, but the last one of the lady was who owns the bakery was just unloading her car, and while she was inside bug-a-lugging, she got a ticket, and this has happened on occasion. What I'm trying to do is, I said I'll bring it in front of the board, and hopefully it would be simple enough. So all we're going to be doing is taking down signs for a loading zone only, 2 parking spaces that is used rarely, only on pretty much only on weekends. I mean, ultimately it'll be metered parking as well, but at least it'll free up a couple of spots for people that need to run in and out and pick up their dry cleaning, or grabbing a sandwich or a coffee, at Letitia's. So if anybody has any questions, I'll try to answer it the best I can. I did speak with the city traffic engineer to explain, there was kind of an immediate need to this. So instead of going through the process of having him come study, he knew what I was talking about. We talked about it over the phone, and he was absolutely, he said he was absolutely fine with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So I
I've been
appreciate
fortunate
your-
enough to park there without getting a ticket.
So thank you for your
Gotta run in
indulgence.
real quick and run out.
Yeah,
Grab
yeah.
everything,
And
run out,
no,
run in.
these guys like to hide in the bushes sometimes and
Oh, yeah.
and bang, and it's
They
unbelievable.
watch to see if you put that quarter in.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm doing it. It's like they're, they get a prize for the most tickets for the
Most
day, I
tickets.
guess. Anyhow, thanks for indulging me. Entertain a motion to approve, if that's okay with you folks.
So
Yes,
moved.
sir.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Williams, seconded by Commissioner Cruz. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Oh, thanks, Ed. And anybody opposed? Okay, that motion's carried. Before we reconvene, I will entertain a motion to adjourn the regular meeting. Is there a motion to that effect?
So move.
Been moved by Commissioner Cruz. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Williams. All those in favor of adjournment of the regular meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, are there any opposed? Regular meeting is adjourned. Now the board reconvenes as trustee.